Welcome back to Healthy with Nicole. In today's video, I wanted to talk about how do you get lean on a carnivore diet. Some people will complain that they gain weight on a carnivore diet, and so there may be a reason for that. I personally did not do the carnivore diet for weight loss. I did it for healing, but I did see a drop in my body fat. Even though that wasn't my goal, it's nice to have. So if that is something that you're looking to do, you might want to consider what types of meats you're taking in, what types of animal products. So I'll give you some tips on what worked for me. First of all, I always want to preface this with the most nutritious animals to eat on the carnivore diet are going to be the ruminant animals. And the reason is because they are grazing on the grass and the plants that us humans don't digest well, and so we don't absorb those nutrients as well. So we'll get those from those ruminant animals that can do that. So first of all, you do want to focus on ruminant animals. Beef, bison, goat, lamb, those are the animals that are going to probably be the most nutritious for you. But you can also add in things like poultry and fish. When you do that, this is a good time to do that if you're trying to lean out a little bit. I wouldn't do it all the time. If you're eating ribeyes every single day or ribs or some of the really fatty cuts of meat, yeah, you're going to get a lot of fat in, and you might be able to trim off some body fat by trimming back on the amount of fat you're taking in your cuts of meat. So for me personally, I like to mix it up, and I love a ribeye and I love to have a fatty cut of beef. But if I'm feeling like maybe I wanted to lose more fat, I would probably go ahead and start to choose and mix in some other things. I personally don't eat a lot of poultry because it's a little typically higher in omega-6 fatty acids, and I just don't really like it as much. So you can eat chicken breast and all that, but just know that you're really just getting protein. You're really not getting a whole lot of nutrients in that food, just protein. But it does reduce your fat intake. If you're satiated on that or not, I don't know. That's going to be different for other people. Also, you want to mix in some things like seafood. Salmon is actually much higher in fat, so that's probably not the direction to go, even though it's got great omega-3s. If you're trying to cut back on the fat portion of your food and the ratios, which I never track, but if you wanted to do that, then something like shrimp, whitefish, seafood, crab legs, those type of things are probably better for mixing in on a regular basis. Also, your ground beef. So you can switch from a high fat ground beef. So a lot of people like the 80-20. I love it. It's actually very greasy and fatty and flavorful and delicious. But if you're trying to lean out, you might want to try moving to a leaner protein like 93%. And I actually think it's still really tasty. Depends on the person, but whether or not you like it, I happen to love it. But that is another strategy. And also, like I mentioned, you can add in one of your meals to or a snack if you're eating multiple times a day. Fish, like I like to have a can of tuna fish. It's convenient. It's also very economical to break up all of the expensive steaks you're eating. So I have another video about how to eat carnivore on a budget, and I'll link it right over here. And then some of these other foods you can find on Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description to find those. So those are a few things about getting lean on a carnivore diet. Obviously, you don't want to add extra fat to the diet if you're trying to get lean. But let me also just remind you that you don't have to be super lean and cut in order to be healthy. That was never my goal, and it was never, still isn't a focus of mine, although it's kind of a nice side effect. So if you like that video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.